Far beyond the crowded stars of the known galaxy, where the light of distant suns barely reached, and the silence of space stretched deep and endless. Countless civilizations passed down tales of a race so powerful and mysterious that many believed. They were nothing more than a legendary ancient species called the humans. Across star systems and among alien worlds, stories spoke of humans as fierce warriors and fearless explorers, who once ruled the galaxy with unmatched strength and cleverness. These beings, unlike any others, had an unpredictable nature. Combining raw courage with sharp minds, and their ability to adapt to any challenge was said to be almost supernatural. Some said humans mastered technology so advanced that it seemed like magic, while others claimed their willpower and determination alone made them unstoppable. But after a great age of conquest and discovery, the humans vanished, leaving behind only myths and scattered ruins. For generations, many doubted whether they had ever truly existed at all, yet some believed that the humans were waiting hidden, somewhere in the vastness of space, ready to return when the time was right. The galaxy held its breath in wonder and fear, unsure if the stories were warnings or hope. It was into this swirling mystery that the starship Elysiaire was sent, a vessel known for its daring missions and highly skilled crew. Their task was to explore a sector so remote and uncharted that few had dared approach it, searching for any evidence of human presence or technology. The crew was made up of specialists, each chosen for their expertise in science, navigation, and combat. Led by Captain Aaron, a calm and thoughtful leader whose experience with deep space missions was unmatched. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Vela, was sharp and curious, always eager to uncover secrets hidden among the stars. Together, they guided the Elysiaire through dangerous asteroid fields and vast cosmic storms, pushing the ship and crew to their limits while scanning for anything that might prove the legends true. For weeks, the ship drifted through empty space, the vast darkness pressing close, and the crew felt the quiet weight of the unknown around them. Every faint signal or strange energy burst made their hearts race with hope and fear, for they knew that discovery could bring great danger as well as knowledge. The atmosphere on the ship was tense yet hopeful, with scientists and soldiers alike wondering what waited ahead. Would they find a long-lost human outpost, a powerful weapon, or something even more mysterious? Then, one day, the ship's sensors picked up a faint energy signature deep within an asteroid field, a pattern unlike anything they had ever seen. It was old ancient, even but still alive. With careful precision, the Elysiaire moved closer to the source, navigating through massive rocks and swirling space dust. Soon, they came upon a colossal structure, hidden in the shadows of the asteroids, a vast space station unlike any known to the galaxy. Its surface covered with strange symbols that glowed softly under the ship's scanners. This station seemed forgotten by time, yet it was still active in some way, humming quietly like a sleeping giant. The discovery sent waves of excitement and unease through the crew. This was no ordinary relic. It was a message from the past, a silent monument to a forgotten age. The Xenotech expert, Lyra, was the first to volunteer for the exploration team, eager to investigate the inscriptions that covered the station's walls. She spent long hours analyzing the markings, which did not match any current languages, but bore a striking resemblance to ancient human scripts found in archives scattered across the galaxy. Slowly, the crew began to piece together fragments of history plans for advanced ships, powerful weapons, and technology that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. The implications were staggering had they stumbled upon the remains of the legendary human empire. Or was this a trap left to guard a secret too dangerous to fall into the wrong hands? As they worked to understand the station's purpose, strange things began to happen. The power within the station flickered unpredictably. Systems switched on and off, and a low hum echoed through the metal corridors. Then, unexpectedly, a distant chamber on the station came to life, revealing a massive human warship hidden within. An asteroid cave, sleek and gleaming with energy. The warship's activation sent a pulse across space, awakening other vessels hidden in secret places throughout the sector. These ships, dormant for centuries, began powering up their engines, roaring to life like the breath of ancient dragons awakening from slumber. The crew of the Elysier watched in awe and fear as the legendary human fleet stirred, no longer just stories but a living force ready to respond to any threat. For a moment, the stars seemed to hold their breath. Captain Aaron ordered the ship into defensive posture, preparing for contact, but the humans' intentions were unknown. Were these ships ready to attack? Or were they simply guarding their ancient home? The mystery deepened as the Elysier drifted closer, trying to communicate, but the silence was heavy and tense. Every crew member felt the weight of history pressing on their shoulders. The myths were no longer just tales told around campfires. In distant starports they were real, and they were awakening. Somewhere in the depths of space, the ancient humans watched again, ready to step back into the light of the galaxy. The crew waited, knowing that their next moves would shape the future, not just for themselves, but for every civilization in the stars. As the Elysier drifted closer to the massive, shadowed structure concealed deep within the asteroid field, the crew's anticipation grew with every passing moment. What lay before them was far older and more mysterious than anything they had ever encountered in the outer sectors. The derelict space station towered in the void, surface scarred by time and cosmic debris, yet still humming faintly with signs of life. The hull was unlike the sleek lines of their modern ships, instead bearing intricate patterns and symbols that seemed to pulse with an ancient energy. Captain Aaron ordered a detailed scan, hoping to uncover the station's origin and purpose. While the crew prepared for a possible boarding mission, the ship's Xenotech specialist, Lyra, was the first to volunteer, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. As the Elysier docked with the station, the crew carefully crossed the airlock into the eerie silence of the forgotten relic. Inside, the corridors were vast and dimly lit, covered with strange carvings and glowing inscriptions that shimmered softly in the darkness. These symbols were unlike any known language in the galaxy, yet to Lyra's trained eyes, they bore a resemblance to the long-lost human script she had studied during her years of research. Her fingers traced the markings as she carefully recorded each pattern, piecing together their meaning little by little. The deeper they ventured, the more the station revealed rooms filled with advanced machinery, star charts that mapped unknown sectors, and devices emitting soft pulses of energy that defied current understanding. The station was a vault of forgotten knowledge, a treasure trove from a civilization thought to be extinct. The crew's scientists debated the implications. If these relics truly belonged to the humans, it would rewrite history and challenge everything the galaxy believed about its past. How could such a powerful race vanish so completely? Was this station a fortress, a research center, or something far more dangerous? While the crew debated, Lyra focused on decoding the inscriptions, working tirelessly to unlock their secrets. Then suddenly, a faint signal pulsed through the station's communication system. It was weak, but unmistakably delivered a beacon from deep within the asteroid field. The signal stirred something long dormant. Far below, hidden in a cavern carved from the rock itself, a sleek, massive warship responded. Its hull gleamed with dark metal and glowing lines of energy, larger and more advanced than anything the crew had ever seen. As the warship powered up, systems flickered across the station, lights brightening and engines humming to life. The air was charged with tension as the signal sent a call to arms that echoed silently across space, awakening other hidden vessels scattered. In secret locations, the crew watched in stunned silence as more ancient ships began to stir, their power rising like a tide long held back. Captain Aaron ordered the crew to full alert. The ancient technology was waking, and its purpose was unclear but undeniably threatening. Every crew member felt the weight of the moment, realizing they had disturbed a sleeping giant that could change the course of the galaxy. Questions raced through their minds. Were these warships ready to fight, or the humans returning to claim their lost empire? Or was this awakening a warning to any who dared approach? The tension was thick, the silence heavy, as the Elysier and its crew prepared to face whatever would come next. The forgotten relics had spoken at last, and their message was a challenge. The story of the mythical humans was no longer just a Talit was unfolding in real time, bringing with it danger, mystery, and a promise of revelations that could shake the universe to its core. Without any warning, the silence that had hung over the asteroid field shattered as the dormant warship stirred to life, breaking through centuries of stillness like a sleeping giant roused from a deep slumber. Its hull shimmered as powerful. Engines roared awake, sending vibrations through the surrounding space and illuminating the dark void with beams of pale blue energy. The ship's ancient AI systems blinked on, carefully assessing the environment and sending out a pulse unlike anything the galaxy had seen in ages. This pulse was not just a signal, but a command one that traveled faster than light, awakening a hidden fleet of human warships scattered across secret locations within the sector. Each ship, once thought lost to time and memory, responded instantly. From the shadows of distant asteroid caves and forgotten nebulae, these colossal vessels stirred, their systems lighting up as if emerging from a long, cold night. The crew of the Elysiaire watched with a mixture of awe and dread as the legendary ships began to rise, breaking free from their hiding places with a force that seemed almost alive. These were not just machines. They were sentinels of a forgotten age, guardians programmed to defend the lost human territories at all costs. The size of the fleet was staggering, ships of various sizes and designs, each more advanced and imposing than the last, forming a formation that stretched beyond the visible horizon. Inside these vessels, the humans themselves lay in cryogenic stasis, their bodies preserved through centuries, while their minds remained linked to highly sophisticated AI systems.
Yes.
These artificial intelligences had been designed with one purpose: to protect their home and their people should any foreign power venture too close. As the warships powered up, their AI began to analyze the Elysiaire and its crew, classifying them as unknown but potentially hostile. Atmosphere aboard the reconnaissance ship shifted instantly from scientific curiosity to a tense standoff. Captain Aaron felt the weight of responsibility heavier than ever before. Every member of his crew was alert, ready for orders, but uncertain of what the next moments would bring. The mystery of the humans was no longer confined to old stories. And Relixit was real, and it was here, awakening with a power and purpose that could change everything. The Elysiaire tried to send peaceful signals, messages of exploration and discovery. But the AI systems on the human warships interpreted these transmissions with caution. These ships were built for war and defense, their systems honed to respond swiftly and decisively to any perceived threat. The ancient warriors they carried might have been asleep, but their machines remained ready for battle, their minds linked through a network that ensured coordinated defense. As the human fleet formed a protective circle around their reactivated base, strange and powerful technologies activated throughout the sector energy shields shimmered into existence. Sensor arrays began sweeping the stars and weapon systems, powered up silently, ready to respond at a moment's notice. The Elysiaire crew realized they were witnessing a historic moment, the return of a force believed to be extinct, rising not out of conquest, but out of survival instinct encoded deep in their systems. For the first time, the galaxy would see what the humans had truly been: guardians of a lost era, warriors of unmatched skill, and survivors of a time when space itself was a battleground. Yet with all this power and mystery came great uncertainty. Would these ancient defenders see the Elysiaire as allies or enemies? Could old myths about humans be true, that they were both protectors and destroyers, capable of incredible kindness, but also devastating force? The crew waited, breath held, as the warship's energy pulses lit up the dark space like stars coming back to life. The moment stretched, heavy with tension and anticipation, as the galaxy held its breath, watching the awakening of a legend and the beginning of a story that would change everything for every being in the stars. As the Elysiaire attempted to send peaceful signals toward the newly awakened human warships, hoping to bridge the vast gap between legend and reality, a sudden, deadly silence filled the space around them. The warship's advanced AI systems, still locked in their programmed state of defense, quickly interpreted the presence of the Elysiaire as a threat. Without any hesitation or warning, a barrage of fire erupted from the ancient fleet, lighting up the dark void with streaks of brilliant energy and thunderous explosions. The crew aboard the Elysir was thrown into chaos as alarms blared, and the ship rocked from the impact of powerful blasts that none of their current weapons could easily counter. It quickly became clear that these warships, long thought extinct, possessed technology far beyond anything the galaxy's most advanced civilizations had ever seen. The weapons fired with terrifying precision, their destructive power matched only by the sheer scale and speed of the ancient vessels. Yet it was not just their technology that unsettled the crew. It was the fighting style of the humans themselves. Unlike the cold, calculated tactics of modern war machines, the human warships moved with an instinctive fluidity, blending the raw courage of ancient warriors with hyper-advanced systems that adapted instantly to every maneuver the Elysir made. They seemed alive in battle, reacting faster than any AI or pilot could, a dance of strategy and instinct that turned every skirmish into a deadly game of survival. Captain Aaron ordered evasive actions, pushing the ship's engines to their limits. As the crew worked frantically to repair shields and returned fire, their weapons barely scratched the thick armor of the human ships. As the battle raged, it became clear that brute force alone would not win this fight. The humans' combination of age-old bravery and futuristic technology was overwhelming, forcing the Elysir to shift tactics from aggression to cunning amid the chaos. Lieutenant Vela suggested a daring plan: use their ship's advanced communication array to attempt a new form of contact. Not just signals, but a message that appealed to reason and curiosity rather than fear. The crew worked quickly to compose a transmission, drawing on all they had learned about the humans from the inscriptions and technology on the derelict station. The message was simple but heartfelt, an offer of peace, a desire to understand, and a plea to reveal why the humans had vanished and now returned in force. As the Elysir sent out the transmission, the battle slowed, the warship's fire becoming less frequent and more cautious. For a brief moment, the vast emptiness of space held its breath, and the glowing pulses of the human fleet seemed to flicker with uncertainty. It was then that the first response came, not from the warships, but from the station itself, now fully active and communicating in an ancient but recognizable code. Lyra, working feverishly to decode the messages, uncovered fragments of a tragic history. The humans had not disappeared by choice, but had been forced into cryogenic sleep to survive a devastating war against a far greater threat. Their AI guardians were programmed to awaken only if intruders entered their territory, ready to defend what remained of their civilization until their people could return. The fleet's sudden aggression was not an act of conquest, but a desperate defense of what was left. The Elysir crew realized they were caught in the middle of a story much larger than themselves, a story of survival, loss, and a hope that had endured across millennia. Understanding this, Captain Aaron ordered a pause in the battle and instructed the crew to focus on diplomacy, using the new knowledge to build a fragile bridge of trust. Slowly, through patient communication and cautious signals, the warships began to stand down, their weapons powering down, but their readiness remaining. The moment was tense and uncertain, but it marked the first step toward uncovering the truth behind the humans' sudden return and their place in the galaxy once more. The Elysir crew knew this was only the beginning. The legend of the humans was no longer just a myth. It was a living, breathing reality filled with dangers and mysteries, courage and loss. As they prepared to face the questions ahead, they understood that survival would depend not just on their weapons, but on their wit, their patience, and their ability to connect with a civilization that had slept for centuries, waiting for a chance to rise again. After the tense standoff and fierce exchange of fire that marked the awakening of the ancient human warships, a fragile but vital shift began to take place between the Elysir and the legendary fleet. The initial hostility slowly gave way to cautious curiosity as the massive vessels, once ready to destroy any perceived threat, started to lower their weapons and opened a channel of communication. The crew of the Elysir held their breath as the first words came through, spoken in a language both strange and hauntingly familiar. A voice that carried the weight of centuries. It was then revealed that the mythic disappearance of the humans had not been due to extinction or defeat, but was instead a deliberate choices, self-imposed exile to protect the galaxy from a threat so immense and dangerous that even their unmatched power could not face it alone at the time. Long ago, when the galaxy was young and full of conflict, humans had risen to heights of technology and bravery unmatched by any other species, but the cost was great. They realized that their presence attracted enemies far beyond the understanding of other civilizations. Forces that could bring ruin not only to them, but to countless worlds. To save what they loved, the humans chose to enter cryogenic sleep, retreating from the cosmic stage to guard the secrets of their power and to keep the greater dangers at bay. After countless years of silence, their warships had awakened, and their people were ready to step forward once again, not as conquerors seeking dominion, but as guardians, committed to preserving peace and stability in a galaxy teetering on the edge of chaos. The crew of the Elysiar listened in awe and respect as the humans explained their long journey of survival and sacrifice, sharing visions of a future where their ancient valor and ingenuity could be used to protect rather than to destroy. It became clear that the return of the humans would mark the dawn of a new era, one filled with hope but shadowed by the challenges of facing old enemies and new threats alike. Throughout the vast reaches of space, news of the awakening spread quickly, stirring a mixture of fear and excitement among countless species. Some saw the humans as saviors, long overdue to bring order and strength to a fractured galaxy, while others watched warily, remembering the legends of their past power and unpredictability. The Elysiar's mission had transformed from a simple reconnaissance to a pivotal role in this grand cosmic drama, chance to help shape the future by understanding the past and bridging the gaps between ancient history and present reality. Captain Aaron and his crew found themselves at the heart of a delicate diplomacy, working tirelessly to build trust not only between their ship and the human fleet, but also among other galactic powers, wary of what this return might mean. The humans offered knowledge, technology, and an alliance born from necessity and hope, but they also demanded respect for the legacy they carried and the vigilance required to face the threats still lurking in the shadows. The ancient warships, once dormant relics of a forgotten age, now gleamed with renewed purpose. As they prepared to patrol the borders of their territory and stand guard over the fragile peace, within the vast chambers of their flagship, the cryogenically frozen humans began to awaken slowly, their eyes opening to a changed galaxy, minds ready to reclaim their place among the stars. The crew of the Elysiar watched with a mix of wonder and determination, knowing that the future was uncertain but filled with possibilities. This was a story of redemption, courage, and the unbreakable spirit of a people who had survived against all odds. As the human fleet aligned with other civilizations, preparing to face the dangers ahead together, the galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath. The legend of the humans was no longer just a tale whispered in the darkness, but a living reality that would shape the fate of countless worlds. The alliance formed in those tense moments promised a new hope, a chance to learn from the past, to face the present with strength, and to build a future where valor and wisdom could guide the course of history. The Elysiar and its crew knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to stand with the humans, ready to face whatever challenges this new age would bring. The stars shone brighter, as if welcoming back a force that had once been lost but was now reborn, a force destined not to conquer, but to protect, and to inspire the galaxy to reach for a better tomorrow.